Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Living the Journey. I'm CJ Sanchez.
And I'm Jena Harris.
And we are graced today with Miss Nyssa Fox, co-founder of Casa here in McAllen. Who today as we're springing into spring, we're kind of, talking about, starting new with the body and kind of springing into what we're calling this our detox episode. So we're going to dive right into it. I know there's a lot to cover. And so I want to turn it over to you to give us a little bit more about yourself and then dive right into all things detox. I know we're starting with the body, so turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. What a great opportunity to share in my journey with you guys in living the journey. So like you mentioned, I am co-founder of Casa Yoga, and I am also a health coach here in McAllen. And health and wellness has always been at the forefront of my being. I've always explored and played with and tested and enjoyed all the different modalities that it offers. Right. And so I am honored. I'm honored to be here to talk about something that I am very, very passionate about, which is detox, detoxifying.
I felt like I had to bring you because you're a personal friend of mine, but also you've been a mentor to me in this detox world and this transformation of body, mind, and spirit. And so when I was thinking about what we wanted to bring to this show and what we wanted it to be about, I immediately knew that you were the person to talk to. So thank you so much for being here with me, with us, and for sharing all of your knowledge and all of your experiences and what we're here to talk about, and that is detox. So tell us what it is, because I really want to bring clarity to that word. I think that it gets misconstrued and misrepresented, and I really want everyone to understand what it actually is.
So I think, like most words that get used a little bit loosely, I think there are a lot of different meanings for it, and it's one of those words that is extremely used right now. It's a very buzzy word, and when we talk about detox, I think the short of it is cleansing house. And you can look at it as cleansing the physical house, but you can also look at it as cleansing this house, the temple, and making space for the new. So a lot of us develop bad habits. We lean into things that are maybe not so positive, honoring them at the time, but then knowing that they no longer hold a space in our lives, in our worlds anymore. So it's really just cleaning out the old and making space for the new. And that's, it's kind of a big, broad idea, and I know we're going to get into each and every part of it, when we start talking about the body and we start talking about the mind and the home. But I think in the short of it, it's, our bodies work in cycles. We live in cycles, no different than the cycles of the year, right? And here we are in spring, and, we just endured a very gruesome storm, something that we hadn't seen in a very long time. Right. But I like the metaphor of, it was a devastation, and we did see a lot of the foliage and a lot of the trees lose their leaves, and it is a little bit sad, but in the reality of it, this has to happen. This is nature, this is evolution, this is what happens, right? Like, things have to be shed in order for things to regrow and rejuvenate.
Absolutely.
And I truly feel at, the deepest part of my being, at my core, that is no different than what we have to do. And in order for our cells to be regenerated and rejuvenated, they have to fall off too. So if that metaphor, it works for me. It's, I'm so visual, and I really do. I like see, and I visualize, what happens in nature, and then how that is applied to what happens in my own personal body. So, just shedding away, losing the old, right? Absolutely. And then making space for the new to come and bring us into a new season of life.
I love that.
Yeah.
And not to be mistaken, right? It's not that just detox can happen only in the spring,
Right,
but
yeah.
it's
place to
applicable,
start. Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It's applicable for what's going on right now and where we are, and it being didn't we have the first day of spring, I think?
Yes, and that's exactly why we're
We're
here.
here. No,
First day of
absolutely.
spring, and we're just cleaning all things out so that we can start anew. But so you said it, but I want to go back to it and talk more about it. But why is it so important to detox? I mean, that's a loaded question.
It is, and
In a nutshell.
so in a nutshell, why is it important to detox? Because it's the cycle. It is truly the cycle of what needs to happen. We are like, and I want to go all over the place because that's just like where my brain goes. So I want to start talking about the home and I want to start talking about the mind. But in the reality of it is that it's a clearing. It's a clearing. It's a shedding. It's like a removing of the outermost layers so that the new layers can reemerge. It's so that we can grow and so that we can evolve as humans, as creatures of this planet.
Yeah.
And so, we often wonder why we become stuck or stagnant in our lives. And I think that has a lot to do with what's going on internally.
Yeah.
And that's why, for me, the body is to me the most important place to start. We can talk about, detoxing and other aspects of our life, but this is our vessel, right? This is the place that we live. And if we don't do a good job of keeping this place clean, then to me, like, what is the point of living and what is the point of vitality, right?
Right.
So this is the temple. This is the place that we got to keep clean first, and the place that we've got to clear out the old so that we can make space for all the new. And I think that probably for me is the shortest of the answers.
That's the truth for me.
And I think that's what I've been seeking. And so I know we briefly spoke off camera about that, why I was so excited about this conversation, and that part in part is because I've learned a lot from Jena over the last few months, and then it's kind of one of those things that instinctually you need to do, you know what I mean, or it's kind of like everything else. When you want it, when you seek that information or that in this case, the want to detox, you're gonna seek that. You're gonna go and look for options and things and educate yourself. And talking about this is really something that I didn't realize I wanted to know more about. I'm already starting the process subconsciously, but just kind of how you mentioned, I think you get to a point where you realize, taking care of your body and your surroundings and kind of just making sure you're good so that everything else is good was why I wanted to start. And then you throw the word detox into it, not realizing that that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get rid of old habits. I'm trying to get rid of mentalities of things that kind of enabled those habits. So it's really great, and it makes so much sense. And I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm kind of birthing new ideas and new intentions with things, because it's kind of like you mentioned, everything, one thing's not in check, something else, you're just kind of off balance. So starting with the body is where I've started, but in that process, mentally things have changed, and realizing I need to not think of certain things a certain way. But it's really really awesome, and I'm excited to have this and really open this conversation up for others that may not realize that detoxing is what they're seeking, you know what I mean, or trying to get more information on. So
Absolutely.
Really awesome.
So where does someone start if they're wanting to get started with the detox? And you mentioned this entire, like, so many different types of detoxes, and I'm not talking about like different protocols. I mean, you were talking about spiritual detox, mental detox, cleaning your home as a detox. So how do we start? How do we know where to start?
So I think the first place to start is getting real clear with self. And one thing that I will have to say, the pandemic did a number on the majority of us, right? Whether it was good, bad, or just completely indifferent. But one thing that I will have to say that was a huge positive for me was that it kind of forced people, whether they wanted to or not, to really stop and turn their attention inward, right? We are, as humans, we're so focused on everything that's outside of us. We're so ready to fix the world outside of us because we don't want to do the work here. And so it caused something to happen. It caused us to stop, listen, caused us to be what we needed to be for ourselves.
That's what it did for me.
Yeah.
And I think that going back to what you said, like where does somebody start? I think really stopping, and we'll get into this in the meditation segment of it, but really just stopping and getting quiet and listening. We are our best healers, right?
Absolutely.
We can do the job that we pay all those people out there hundreds and thousands of dollars to do and take care of us, right? I get it. Like, go get a massage, go get a facial. All those things are great, self-care. Right. I am 100% for them. But when it comes to healing, we can heal ourselves. So getting clear with what is it that I need? Listening, like really putting your ear down onto your heart and listening to what it is that I need. Do I need a spiritual cleaning? Do I just need a physical cleaning? Like, do I need to literally clean my skin? Do I need to literally, clean my scalp? Do I literally need to get a pedicure and clean my feet? Or do I seriously need to, like, clear my mind through meditation?
Yeah.
Or do I seriously need to get on some kind of a protocol, whether it's a juice fast or just adding a certain juice to your diet, like celery juice, or doing intermittent fasting, or a true medical protocol, like Prolon, like what you did. So there's so many different things that you can do out there, but I think it's baby steps, right? I mentioned this to both of you guys earlier, and it's not a sprint. We're not trying to get from here to there overnight or in a month or in a week. This is a slow and steady paced marathon where we are taking one step at a time and really looking at this as, like, this is my journey, right?
Yeah.
We're living the journey. Like, I'm
It's
living
a
the journey.
lifestyle, too.
It is a lifestyle.
Hearing you say that is really, like, it's kind of refreshing, and kind of sometimes you want to hear the things that assures that what I'm thinking is not crazy, right? Because I think for me, sometimes hearing things and that getting that reassurance, that seeing it as something that is an ongoing process. We're so fixated and accustomed to quick fixes, right? Like,
Amen.
Yeah, like a 2-week detox, 3-day diet, all this stuff. I'm guilty of it. And even, I think the other day I briefly mentioned it to you, and for me, maybe sometimes as a reset, you can say I'm going to do a 3-day whatever, a 2-week whatever, but it's really not to just say I'm fixing that problem. It's I'll start there, and then, keep taking those baby steps to really change things. And that has been the biggest, I think, thing that I've taken from, like, having that reset, so to speak. It's just that mindset,
Absolutely.
You mentioned something earlier about how COVID and being in lockdown really forced us to look in, and that is so my story.
Yeah.
And it leads into the detox, because I really took time to get clear on what I needed to detox. And gosh, there's so many reasons, but it really boils down to two things, and that's my grandma passed of cancer, and so I was really interested in cellular health. I was really because we know that that's what cancer is, it's this craziness in the cells. But so I know that cancer ran in our family. That's what I learned through my grandma's cancer journey, and it's something that I was never aware of. And when I learned this, I was like, okay, I think I need to address that. So that was one major thing that I was like, I need to take care of my cellular health. And then the other thing was just, I want to say I had kind of an abusive relationship with foods and supplements, and, a lot of toxic foods that I was putting into my body for so long. And so that's when I was like, you know what, I need to do a cellular detox. And I didn't even know that a cellular detox existed, to be very, very honest. But, I believe that things happen for a reason, and people come into your life for a reason. And that was you for me. You didn't know that all this was going on in my internal process and my journaling and when we were on lockdown, but that's what was going on. And about a week later, you told me about Prolon. And I read the book, I dove right in, and that is pretty much what launched me into the journey and where I am now with my health. So
I love that. That's
so
so
as
cool.
far as getting clear and really, taking time to assess your health and all the aspects of it, it's real, it's true, and it will make a difference if you take the time to listen. So thank you for that advice, and
You're
thank
welcome.
you for
welcome.
you.
And it's been a ripple effect, because that's where around the time that we linked up, and it's just, if it's not been one thing, it's been another, and it's kind of been through all the processes that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
The body, the mind, the home, things have changed, and I noticed it, and I seek more of it. You know what I mean? So hearing this, like when walked in today, I was like, I want to be your student. Like I want to have the same. I like that I'm going to have the same response that a lot of our viewers are going to have. Hearing things that maybe triggering what they're trying to piece together as either a reset or a detox, so to speak.
Well, there's I want to say 10 things to all of that. So thank you for that. And I can't even speak. I mean, there needs to, I think, to be a whole segment on just Prolon by itself, because I could go on for days. And the book is so empowering. And I do want to offer a free book to anybody that's your viewer that wants a book.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
that's one thing, and that's not really about the detox. But something else that I wanted to say is that it is a ripple effect. Yeah. And who even knows, right? But had Jena not have gone through that process, and had she not have started clearing out what needed to be cleared out to make space for new, who knows where, right, would have been manifested. And so Absolutely. It's amazing what happens and the foundation that's laid when we start clearing house, and this being the house, right?
Absolutely.
And so what a beautiful expression of what detox can do, because the possibilities are truly endless, and it doesn't matter what you're seeking, whether it's, God, I've got digestive issues and I need, digestive help, or I have, my body feels dirty. I don't feel like I'm shining as bright as I could possibly shine. So maybe my outer skin just needs some love, or, whether it's cellular, because that you've got medical things that run, or diseases or illness that runs in your family. So I think that it's completely and totally accessible. And I hope that if nothing else from this podcast, from this interview today, I hope if nothing else is received, I hope the one thing that people take away is that it's accessible for all. That it's something that no matter where you are in your life, no matter what it is that you're looking for, truly seek and you will find. Yeah. And just start putting the intention out there. Yeah. What is it that you want to happen? God, I want better sleep, or I want, better relationships, or I want, better digestion, or I want, better metabolism. And truly, just put that out into the universe, and you will get exactly what you need.
Absolutely.
Amen.
That is
exactly.
Amazing. And that makes so much sense. And I think that hearing, putting the puzzle pieces together, because we haven't spoken in length about that process, and it's really beautiful thing to see that those things were things I put out there. Didn't know that I was going to get them in the form of a really deep friendship with Jena, with Mark, with the people that we've interviewed, throughout this process. This idea, it's come about, and it's created such a deeper meaning for me, for now those around me, and it's just really great to see how when you have an open mind and an open heart, everything else just kind of starts flowing, and you want that change, and it'll happen.
So beautiful. Yes, I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think this is a perfect time to segue into the next part of our episode, because we're going to talk about meditation, and we're actually going to meditate, and it goes into getting clear in our minds about where we want to start in this detox process.
Absolutely.
So if we want to clear and make space for the new, we've got to still our minds, and we have to figure out what it is that we need, right? So Nyssa is going to guide us in a meditation, and we're going to talk a little bit about what meditation is, and how you can incorporate that into your routine, and how you can use it to launch you into your detox process. So we'll see you on the other side in another episode of Living the Journey. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.